Hi everyone, it's jwitty. Hope y'all are having a great day. So what you're seeing are pictures of my fire series that I did way back at the beginning of my paint pouring journey, before I even started recording myself or my YouTube channel. And so I thought, you know what? It'll probably be fun to go ahead and try and recreate some of these, or at least give it a go again, and this time record it. So I grabbed a gallery wrapped 11 by 14 canvas from Loft that you see there. And it's a level 2, so it's not a deep edged, but it's still a nice canvas. And the base coat that I'm going to be putting down today is the Krylon Color Max Gloss Black. And then that is the Marte Brilliant Red. This is Marte's Orange. And then the Loft Brilliant Yellow. So I mixed all the paints with strictly Floetrol and then distilled water to bring them down to a thin consistency. For kind of like a Dutch blowout. And I call it a blowout because it's not really a Dutch pour, because I'm not blowing the base coat over top of the colors, if that makes sense. Like I put the base coat down, then I put the colors down, and then I don't put any extra base coat to where I blow over the colors before blowing them out. I just kind of put the colors down and then blow out the colors on top of the base coat. So this was really interesting because, you know, like I said, I had done the paintings that you saw at the beginning there like 2 years ago. And it was even before I had the common sense of keeping notes as to what I was doing. Because, you know, I was learning back then, and you would have thought that I would have taken notes. And no, I didn't. I would watch a video back in the day and then attempt to do it from memory. And I just never kept video, or written record rather, of what I was doing. I started keeping a written record, or started writing everything down when I began recording to start my YouTube channel. And I don't know why I didn't, but, and you know what? Having those notes helps. Even 2 years in, it kind of helps, because then you can go back and you can reference what you did. And so anyways, so from trying to remember back 2 years, I've had this little teeny tiny quart-sized can of this Krylon, if I'm pronouncing it right, Color Max Gloss Black paint. And I thought that that's what I had used in this series. And now I'm beginning to wonder. And what I mean by that is real glossy, and any black that you use is very glossy and shiny and very reflective when it's wet. And then sometimes it dries kind of dull. And I was really surprised that this one, even being called gloss black, dried kind of dull. Now that luster of shine and sheen will come back once I go ahead and varnish this piece when it's completely dried and cured. So I'm laying down the colors. I'm trying to figure out what way I'm going to go with this. And I'm realizing that between the Loft and the Marte, I was hoping to get some kind of a reaction, or I might get some cells. And believe it or not, I was really surprised, because none of those colors really celled up, but the black came through them like cells. It's kind of interesting, and you'll see. But these paints, even though the consistencies were the same as the base coat, they still sink. They blow out nicely, and then they kind of sink and shrink, and then they sink and shrink. And I put layers upon layers. I blow out, and then I put more layers down, and I blow out again. And in my head, when you see me do that, I'm thinking I'm building up a base so that they won't sink nearly as much. But I got to tell you guys, even though they sank, the blowout didn't stay as wide of a swath like you see there. I'm loving how this particular piece turned out. It's very minimalistic at the end, but it's still just enough to draw your attention and to me captivate the mind. And I love it. Absolutely love it. So, but right now I'm just kind of playing around with composition and, you know, where do I want to go with my next blowout? I need a little bit more, still want to leave enough negative space. I didn't want to cover the entire canvas completely with the orange, red, and yellow. One of the paintings in the beginning, you saw that I did exactly that. And it was pretty cool. Almost looked like a lava explosion on that particular canvas. But, you know, I'm just having fun with these paints and seeing what kind of an effect I can get. And I find it very interesting as you watch this progress that as I'm working on one side of the canvas, the other side, the colors seem to start to shrink up. Then I go back and work on the other side to, you know, blow them out some more, and then the side I'm working on begins to shrink up. So I'm not sure. I'm thinking it has a lot to do with the base coat color, the Krylon Color Max paint. Kind of like, you know, the Artist Loft soft-bodied white that started eating up all the colors. Everybody said that the, I don't know, the recipe or whatever that they did with that paint kind of changed. They switched something up in the ingredients or whatever that caused that to happen. I'm thinking that this Krylon might have that same kind of concept behind it. Like I said, you know, I bought that little can of paint way back in the beginning of my journey. And it might not make for the best base coat color to use. But, you know, in the beginning, when you're first starting out, you do what you can with what you've got. And that's exactly what I did, you know, with this particular paint. It's not a bad paint, you know, but it was within budget. So for the time, it kind of worked, but it still kind of works. This is pretty cool painting. Like I said, I really love the way that it turned out. Wish I could have kept these swaths the way they were. But I'm not disappointed in the end results. The end results, like I said, are really cool. So I do take you in at the end for both the wet and the dried. And I always do that, you know, if I can, if the painting is dried in time, or I don't do something very last minute, and I've been known to do that also. So you don't get the wet or the dried results. And I was always afraid, you know, I'd put the yellow down and I'd end up putting more on top, like you see there, of the orange and the red, because I was so afraid that this yellow was going to take over. And I didn't want it to go, because, you know, with the yellow and the black, sometimes it makes this really weird, bizarre color. And I didn't really want that either, like this greenish, yellowishy, weird color. And so, you know, I was trying to be really careful. And that's the color that sunk the most, that you don't really end up seeing a whole lot of in the end result. And I think in this corner, I end up adding, after I blow this out, I add some more yellow on top of that to blow it out to get some more contrast. Yeah, see? Now, watch this. I find this really interesting. I place the yellow down. You think, you know, when I go to blow it out, it's going to add yellow. It disappears. That's like, wow. So again, I think it has to do with the pigmentation, the density of the paints that are being used. And, you know, some paints just sink heavier than others. And none of these are metallics. But I found it interesting that these colors kind of acted like metallics. You know how metallics can be very heavy and they can sink very easily, which has been my experience. Now, it looks like I'm getting black cells, but it's just the way that the colors on top of the black are reacting to the black. And there's no silicone, there's nothing like that in these paints. It's strictly the Floetrol and the distilled water. But I still thought that the webbing effect was rather cool. And so I wanted to add a pop of color in there. And so now I'm playing with this edge. And I'm liking what I'm seeing as I blow it out, you know. Oh, this is cool. This is fun. But like I said, you know, as you watch and this progresses, everything begins to sink and it begins to shrink. Sink and shrink. That's what we'll call it. This is sink and shrink technique. There you go. So, but anyways, I had fun with this. I really, really did. It was just nice to go back down memory lane for a little bit and recreating something that I've done before. Add to that series. I think it'll partner up next to one of those other paintings rather nicely. So drop me a comment down below, guys. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear from you. I do respond. Here are the wet results. They're just really pretty. I just really love the way this ended up. But like I said, drop me a comment down below. All you need to do is tap on the title. It'll take you into that description box where you'll find a listing of the paints that I used along with my pouring mediums. I do have an Amazon wish list, so if you love the content that I'm bringing to you and like to grant me a wish by sending me more paint so I can continue on with my content, would be so appreciated, not expected. If you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad you're here. I do invite you to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to hit the notification bell for future uploads. And I welcome you. And I appreciate each and every one of you. So here we go. These are the wet results. And up next are they dried, and you're going to see what I mean by kind of dull. Like the black kind of dulled out a bit, and there you go. So, but I found it to be interesting, and I found the background in that black to be kind of interesting, that it almost looks like it's textured. Can you see that, guys? Pretty cool. But I'm going to do a gloss type varnish on it. Just like I have on the piece that's hanging on the wall next to it that you guys see probably quite a few times in my close-ups of my dried results. I just take one of the paintings on my wall down and hang up what I'm working on to bring you the dried results in my studio. And one of my flame series is hanging up in my studio. So, but again, you know, it's like real minimalistic, but I think it's captivating. I think it's great. So anyways, guys, thanks for joining me today. I hope you all have a phenomenal week. And until next time, stay safe, take care, and blessings to you all. Bye-bye.